All right, starting to talk about the place command. Place is eventually going to mean go to your bed, stay there until you've been told otherwise. It's a super useful inside the home command for anything that you don't want the dog to be a direct part of. If you're cooking, cleaning, or inviting guests into your home is a pretty big one, where you can send your dog to essentially just lay down on their bed, but there's a lot more boundaries attached to it. Now it's pretty heavy that, okay, we don't want you getting off of that bed for whatever reason. First part of first part of teaching her how to do this is just to get onto the bed, and we can start to mark and reward. We've already made some good progress on this, so let's show you where we're at. Nova, you ready? Yes. Just to get her started, I'm going to yes her off the bed. Now here, when I cue the word place, I'm going to apply some leash pressure and release. Now, similar to that down command I was talking about earlier, my pressure stays on until she hits flat onto the bed. Yes. YES releases her off that position. Nova, place. My leash pressure turns on. It stays on this whole time, and release. And I'm not yanking and cranking, it's just a little guiding leash pressure to help her find that position. And also my timing is important of when I turn the pressure off. As soon as she finds the right position, relaxing your leash tells her, you've made the correct decision, good. And you can double down with a reward. Good in this case is telling her to remain on the bed. It's not allowing her out of position. Now this would be something that I would start to practice if you're gonna bring her home and pressure on and release. If she's in a brand new space and we're just working on relaxing, I know she's just got crazy energy in particular, so doing this as a skill over time, the longer we practice it, the easier it's going to become. So say I've got a couple emails to write, or I'm going to sit down and watch some TV, I'm going to be stationary for a bit of time, I might pull out one of these beds, have her on a leash, and start to practice just staying in a nice relaxed position while I'm in a relaxed position. The more we practice that, the more she's just going to start to offer it on her own without needing so much guidance. Good. So that whole time while I was gabbing at the camera, she managed to stay in position. I had to interrupt her once with my leash. I think you saw that. But otherwise, she stayed in position, so I can mark and reward for that. Yes. Place. And that's going to be a big part of practicing place, is just practicing everyday things that she might see. Yes. Good girl. Nova, place. Pressure on. And off. Now, I like to use these elevated beds. I do find it helpful for the dog to differentiate the boundary of being on the target versus on the floor. And it's also a nice visual for owners to practice their timing of leash pressure. It's a nice visual of when the dog is in behavior. It's very, very clear. As soon as they get onto the bed or into that down position, that's when you should relax your leash. Yes. Good girl. Place. So now just to kind of take this to the extreme, we can start to add some more distractions. The first distraction being me. I'm just going to start to walk around a little bit. If this action alone would be, yep, right there. I was like, she's doing pretty good. If this action alone is enough for her to break, then I do what I just did there. Apply a little leash pressure and release it as soon as she gets back into that position. We're hanging out, I'm letting her think about it, and release. Good. So even though she just got a reward, that doesn't allow her out of position. That's also part of practicing her differentiating the differences between good and yes. One telling her to stay in position, the other one allowing her out of it. Yes. Good girl. Place. Good. Good. You can see there she had a little excited moment where she actually thought about it but remained in position. That's definitely a good decision-making moment that we're going to take advantage of and mark and reward. Yes. Good girl. All done.